peeps, old fat here. Just out, gonna whack another couple of traps in out here. So over here on that tree there, I've got a trap there underneath that, and I'm just gonna whack one in under this tree. I really got to whack them in under trees here because we've got a lot of cattle around, and so this will turn this one into a set of 4 now, and I'm probably going to whack one in under there, and just through that creek there on the other side. I've just got to walk through trap near some scat that I showed you on one of the other videos. This is where I had one, but the cows got in there, got the trap, got caught in that trap, and I had made some new wires up and I didn't tighten them down enough, so got a cow walking around with a bloody trap on him. We'll get him. Worst part about this one here, not only did I lose a trap, but after the cow was taken the trap, dogs come in and sniffed all the scat and bitch's urine that I had marking on that tree, and there was dog prints all around it. So anyway, we'll set your tripod up over here. This will probably be pretty boring to some of you that haven't seen it done before might be interested, but the experienced fellas that do the trapping and that, you've seen it all before. Like, you're not, as Clark McGee says, you set it up and do it how you want to do it. Really, at the end of the day, you can go to the 10th degree on this sort of stuff, but pretty well every trap I've set up has worked, so I don't wear gloves or any of that sort of stuff. My biggest problem here is because we got a lot of cattle around this area, particularly. We've let out about 400 or 500 after muster, and they're sticking around here because there's heaps of grass in these creeks and there's heaps of water around, and they got plenty of water. So I'll just whack you down here and I'll show you the process. So we just whack a little mat down. It's to hide your scent and all that sort of stuff, but really catch your dirt on it, sort of thing. I'm going to leave all these branches and stuff here. I'll leave all these here because that might stop the cattle getting under there. And then I'm just going to put my trap on here. I'll get it ready to set. Should always use work boots when you're doing this sort of carry on. Hardest part's bending down, not getting poked in the bloody eye here. So this is the one that we checked the pan tension on the other day, so that's all good. I'll just put him out of the way. That's ready to go. Just get my tools and my trade out here. That's all I need for that bit. Keep that close. And we're going to come in here. So I'm going to run a chain off this tree here, but I'll clear a little bit of this stuff out here because I want to get the trap in pretty close, otherwise the bloody cattle will get in here. Leave as much of that native vegetation as you can, and then we're just going to dig a bit of a hole in here. You just got to make the hole wide enough for the trap. Get any big rocks out of the way. You want to get that trap right down to, so when you filled it back in, it's right on the level of where you want it. I'm just going to check the trap. Always grab it by the sides when you're checking it. I reckon that's going to be pretty good there. See if that'll close. Yeah, I'll just get a little bit more dirt out of there. That'll be all good to go. So what I'm going to do now just on the side where I'm going to run the bloody wire trap chain. I'll just dig that out as well. That's where the trap chain's going to go. So, don't know how much of that camera got that, but so that trap's sitting pretty good. We're just under the ground level, and I've dug a little trench there for the chain to go in. I'm just going to chain this one up against the tree. I've got no more earthen wires, so that's what we've got to do. Anyway, and then I'll show you what we do. So we put a little bit of dirt around the trap, if you can see in there. Sorry about the trees in the way, but I've really got to do it that way. So that chain's all good. I'm just gonna give that a little, pack a little bit of dirt around the front of that jaw. I'll put some around the back as well, just to stop a bit of movement. Beautiful there. Just pack that in, get a few sticks out of there. I'm pretty comfortable putting my fingers in them now. I wasn't when I first started, only because I know how much tension's on that. So if I was to fill that all full of dirt now, you could get dirt and crap in the springs and all that, and then the trap won't set off properly. So something I prepared a bit earlier. Here's my little cloth. Just use my knife, and that goes around that like that. Just tuck it in, and that's just to keep all the springs and everything clean. And if you really wanted to, if you're scared about putting your fingers in, you could just pack it in with a knife. Once you've got that in, just put a little bit of dirt in each corner just to hold it down. Hold it down like that. Then we put our sieve on top, because we know that's not going to set the trap off. And we fill it all back in again. There you go. I'm just going to throw this away. I'll just step away from the car. Just throw it away from the trap in case it sniffs it or whatever. That's looking pretty good. Just need a bit more on that corner. Looking good. Just fill these holes in so it's all a bit natural. What I'm doing now is I'm just feeling for the edge of the trap. I just put my knife there because that's where I'm going to put my stepping stick. So I'll get a stepping stick in there. Need a little shackle. I'll put that stick there because I want the dog, it won't step on the stick, it normally step over the stick, and that's where the pan is, right there in the centre. So that's why we want to do that. We'll have to sit down and do the chain up because can't much get in there. And like I said before, I want to keep that, I really want to keep the branches there above me to stop all the cattle coming in. And I'll show you in a minute why I use this chain. So I'm just putting a couple of sticks to the side, either side of it. So I want to try and get the dog in this way, where it's clear. So I'll make a bit of a barrier on each side with some sticks, and that'll stop him from coming into the side, hopefully. This is just a bit of stuff that I picked out at the start. So I'm just going to wiggle back here. Just make sure there's none of my marks there. So I'm just going to go like that over the trap. Now I'm going to put it over that chain. But sorry about the angle of the dangle. I'll have to rotate that if I can. I'll split it and rotate it. But see how that chain's all rusty? It's all natural. So the chain that I use around the trees to anchor it, I use an old rusty train, because we're on a working cattle station. There's that many rusty chains and bits of wire and stuff around. The dogs are used to it. And I'm just going to throw them bits that I broke out over there at the back. That'll cover a little bit of that chain. Looks pretty natural. And hopefully we don't get too many cattle in here. About it. Put all my stuff away. I'll throw that out in a minute. Yeah, so that's the first trap in. It's not too hard. And I'm just going to whack one in over here, but I'll just leave the camera filming if you want, but it's all going to be much the same. This one's a lot more open, so hopefully I'll be able to get it where I want it. So that's what I was saying about the old rusty chain. So I'll whack that around there. There's a little bit of old cattle bone here, or animal bone. So we'll put that back there. I'll just get rid of some of the sticks to the side. Bit of cattle shit, we'll use that. Probably get rid of this branch here, only because the dingo might not come in then. It's a bit low, it might poke him in the eye. So we'll get rid of that one. So rule of thumb, where you're going to have your scent, or you know, like a squeaker or something like that. And I might even actually bury a squeaker here, put it in here. This is in between a few traps. But you have it from your fist to your elbow. So that's where you want your centre of the pan. So I'm going to put some scent in here, and so you want it roughly about your elbow. So you want the centre of the pan there. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm just going to get the leaf litter off the top because I'll use that. I'm just going to throw it under my rug. So here it's sloping downhill a little bit. So I'll need to make the left hand side of the trap a little bit deeper. And I'll make the bottom, I just make the bottom soft so the trap can sink into it. Leave a bit of that there, that's a rock. I reckon that'll be getting pretty close. Once you've dug enough of the holes, Make sure that tape doesn't come off. Once you dug enough holes, you bloody you sort of get used to the size. Not sure if you see that. So that's the pan. The pan's fully on that back jaw, and then you just push down on it a little bit. Not that much. So don't do that. That's why you don't have your hands in it. I'll try and show you on the ground. So when I've got the trap set, when I've set the trap, then I just pull that pan back onto the outer lip, and that'll set it a bit better. It's just hard to do it here where I've got bloody trees and shit all in my way. So that's fully clipped, and then you just clip it back half, and then it's just hanging on the edge. Just hangs on that little lip there. So now we're going to see if it'll fit. And like I said, once you've done that a few times, you get it pretty well bang on. So I'll just pull that out. That's bang on, just so I can get the cable in here. I'll bury the cable. I'll bury a bit of that chain. That's solid as that. That's beautiful. Couldn't have worked any better. I'll just sit down again because I'm a silly old fat bastard. So I don't have to pack anything around the jaw. That's nice and solid. It's not moving anywhere. Because if the trap's topsy-turvy, if you don't quite have it right, what the dog will do is when he's coming in, he comes in pretty careful, and if he feels something move under his foot, he'll pull it out before the trap goes off, 9 times out of 10. So you've got to make sure that it's nice and solid when you get it in there. That's why after I've dug the hole, I know what depth I want it. I give it a little pick so all the dirt's loose, and you can get the trap right down into the ground like that. So we'll grab one of our pan packers, and we're going to put that over there like that. Beautiful. Just get a little bit of dirt in the corners, not too much. And that'll be fine. I've got enough room here, I can flick it out to the side, away from the trap. As long as it's not big sticks and that, it's not going to get caught in the jaw. I'm just covering that little edge there. I'm going to throw a few little sticks around the outside edge, but I won't put it where the pan is. So once we're finished, that'll look pretty natural. That's doing this without getting fucking poked in the eye. There's my stepping stick. So on this one here, I'm just going to put a bit of bitch's urine, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on that stick that's poking through. tree. That'll do it. Put that bone back in here. Bit of cow shit, I like the shade. And that one's just about done as well. Now hopefully the cattle don't get in there. And that's the end result. So you can see the stepping stick there. We want them just to step over that. And touch wood, I don't get another big bull in here. Alright, see you peeps.